Hey everybody, it's my new video. My channel, my journey through divorce and life, or life and divorce. Uh, it's been about 3.5 weeks now. Just had to take my son back, dropped him off at my the ex-wife's dad's house. Uh, so I had to see her. That was a little rough. But what this video is about is divorce and your children. The children are the most important. They're the most important thing. I had to deal with my lawyer this week. I decided that I needed to file because even though she left, um, she said she didn't have enough money to file. So I said, I mean, I can't just not let things happen. I can't just sit and let her do God knows what while, she's racking up bills, she's doing whatever. So I said, well, I'm going to file then. And that kind of stunned her a little, which is fine. I mean, it should stun her. This was her decision, but I have no choice but to go along with it. And you too, anybody. Um, so the lawyer contacts me. This is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. The lawyer contacts me and he says, I need you to write down all the reasons why you should have custody. Okay, well, in my situation, last year my wife tried to commit suicide. And then a couple of times since then, she was hospitalized for suicidal ideation. She's got borderline personality disorder. She's got bipolar 2, and a list of other things. um, she's barely been able to keep a job in the last 20 years for more than about a year. I've always told her, you're a great mom. You're a great mom. She was a great mom when she was able to be a great mom. You know, when when she wasn't, she had me there to pick up the slack, to take care of her and take care of the kids and go to work every day. And some of those years I was driving an hour to work. And I know everybody has their time at work. You're lucky if you can get a 20-minute ride. But so 9 hours gone, and an hour each way driving. I mean, I was gone 11, 12 hours, and then had to come home, and my wife is, well, I'm just going to lay down and cry for hours tonight. You know what I mean? So it's like, I still love her. There's a tiny bit in me that still wants to be with her, but I don't see that happening. So I just have to continue moving forward as if it's never gonna happen. We're never gonna be together again. Um, and that's what I have to put into perspective when I had to write all those things down. You know what? I don't want to hurt her. This is going to hurt her. This is going to suck for her. It's not something I want to do. It's not something I ever wanted to bring up because for 20 years almost, I protected her from all this, um, and supported her when things were down, when she was suicidal or things like that. Now, I mentioned the stuff that happened in the last year, but there were things that have happened over a lot of time, longer time. Uh, Infidelity, literally lying, cheating, and stealing. I mean, most people wouldn't have dealt with that at all, but I gave a lot of leeway based off of her conditions. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. It's not her fault. Well, my therapist is now saying, when is it going to be her fault? Whether it's medical or not. Um, it. I'm going to switch hands here. Whether it's medical or not, it still harms me. She's still harming me. Um, so, well, I had to fill this paperwork out. Wrote down some nasty stuff. Nothing that wasn't true, but it was some nasty stuff. So, like I said, you got to protect your kids. I can't let it go when she may, when he comes home from school someday, and she could be laying there in a pool of blood. She could be laying there blue from taking pills. That's what she did last time. She could be you know, strung out on something. I don't know. She's never been big on the drugs, but that's not a problem. She's been drinking a lot lately, and a lot of problems. Anyway, that's the ex. I really can't help her, but that's kind of what I had to say in this message to the lawyer. It's like, look, she was good when she could be good. The problem was she couldn't be for that long, you know, months, maybe a year, maybe, and then she would crash, and she couldn't work for months, weeks, years. She tried to get on disability twice. That took 4 or 5 years where I just supported her and the kids and everybody. Um, so all this is, I kind of took care of everything, you know, with very little. She was always like, "Oh, I feel like a burden." I'm like, "You're not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden. You're not a burden." Until now, when with all this stuff's happening, you know, she's wanting to take half of everything, and I get it. That's common. That's normal. Even though we were spending between $8,000 and $15,000 a year, and I know that doesn't seem like a lot. We live in a very small Midwestern area. $8,000 to $15,000 was probably 20 to 25% of our pay, of my pay, um, for part of that time. So I was paying that kind of money out for mostly her medical bills every year, you know. And I get it; it's our money, whatever. Um, but you know, I feel like I got no support in that, no recognition for that. Now that you know, I was able to scrape by tiny bits every week to put in a retirement account or whatever. Now she's going to take half of that, and I'm not okay with it, but I have to be okay with it. That's reality in America, you know. Um, and I think my problem with it is a lot of it is she just walked. Like she doesn't even want to talk. She doesn't want to have any. She's like, it's like no closure. I got no closure. It's just her. She came up with 2 or 3 different excuses. I've said this in other messages, but anyway, I digress. uh I hope you guys are okay with this video. I hope the sound's good on it. I'm trying a new gimbal out and my microphone, so that's nice. But anyway, like I said, when you're in this kind of a situation in divorce, you can't. It's not your problem to make them happy anymore. It's not. They may think you are. They may think, well, they're going to be nice to me because. But when we were still together, or when we first talked about this divorce, we talked about sharing custody and things like that. Well, you know, in the immortal words of my soon-to-be ex, things change, which is what she told my 11-year-old son when she told him that she was leaving. And he said, "You swore to me that you would never do this. You're a liar." And she said, "Well, things change." So I'm going to leave it at that. This is a fairly short video. People aren't going to watch much more of me jib-jabbing. But if you want to hear more of my story, I'll probably start talking more about the borderline and other things and how I dealt with that over the years. And as my therapist has been talking to me about, how much are you willing to uh, put up with? That's a mean way to say it, but how much are you willing to endure? How much are you willing to stand in the fire or light yourself on fire to keep this other person warm? You know, and she asked me that a few weeks ago, my therapist, and I said, well, I wasn't done yet. I wasn't I wasn't going to give up, you know. So, ooh, sorry about that. We bounced around a little there. I said I wasn't really ready to give up, but uh, you know, the wife came up with multiple different excuses. Honestly, I think she's having an episode, but that's beside the point. I will talk about that more in my next videos, and then I'll talk about some of the books that I read 15 years ago on borderline. Stop Walking on Eggshells. Uh, I Hate You, Don't Leave Me, which is, well, I tell you what, if I went through all the things, maybe I'll do that in one of my videos. I'll do a checklist of the things on borderline, because I shit you not, everything that's happening right now with my ex is like you're checking boxes down a list of of things on borderline personality disorder. Like she what was what you call splitting. She split, and I kind of know the point when she did that, but it happens. So anyway, if you want to hear about that, I will start doing those videos here in the next couple of days. My son is going to be with her all week, so I'll have some time and I'll do some more quality videos. So yeah, I want to. What do you guys think of this goatee? Should I get rid of that? I feel like I got kind of a baby face for my age. If I shave it, I'm going to look kind of weird, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, like and subscribe if you want to hear more. Have a good day, everybody.